Alrighty, so it's done. The World Cup is now officially over. We now have to wait 3.5 more years before the next World Cup that is going to be happening here in North America. And I gotta say, as much as I know a lot of people will say that this will go down as probably the greatest World Cup final game we've ever seen in this competition history, people forget that for the first 80 minutes of this game, it looked like it was kind of just one of those World Cup final where, one team wants it more, because Argentina, they were by far the better team for the first 80 minutes of this game, and we already have heard the storyline of Messi finally winning his World Cup. Heck, in my mind, after watching the first 80 minutes, I'm already thinking that, well, this was a World Cup final that pretty much sums up a storybook ending in Messi's career, not only with a club level, but especially with the national team finally conquer that mountain to win the World Cup. But as we know, in this World Cup, narrative sometimes can put in the back burner, and that chaos basically reign. Because as much as all this time that I've done a lot of review of these MLS games and how we talk about MLS After Dark and just peak MLS mode, I think in this game, after the 80th minute, we not only hit World Cup After Dark mode, but we probably hit peak World Cup final mode. Like, I think the soccer or football gods are pretty much just decided that, you know what, let's try to give the fans one last great game to show you why this might be going down as one of the greatest World Cup we ever had in this competition history. Now, let's go all the way back in the third minute, because I know I will talk a lot about what we saw in this game after 80 minutes that was played, because that's where the chaos really happened. But we start off in the third minute where DePaul hits one right to Lloris as the flag went up before McAllister actually fired one right to Lloris. Then DePaul actually had a shot that was deflected and goes wide, and there was just no feeling out, period, in this World Cup final. Like, normally in a World Cup final and in such a pivotal game like this, you would expect maybe for the first 15 minutes it's going to be a little bit boring to watch, and maybe it's just going to be both teams just kind of trying to feel each other out. They don't want to take much risk. Oh no, that's not what was the case in this game, and at least that was not on Argentina agenda, because they were on the front foot, and I think maybe that kind of surprised the French a little bit. Well, I say that maybe surprised the French a little bit, but I've said it before throughout this tournament, France have always been off to a slow start in this tournament. Like, when you look at all the games that they play in this tournament, they always tends to not start off fast in this tournament, and that, well, eventually we have seen them grow into this game. When you kind of start off slow, yeah, that could potentially come back to haunt you, and that if in this one, at least as I said in the first 80 minutes, and especially in the first half in this one, France just never been able to get into the gear where they started to get into the game, and it almost felt like they was just kind of maybe feeling things out, and they just kind of got stuck in that mode, and Argentina took full advantage of it, because like I said, they were on the front foot, they were pressing for the opening goal. Di Maria would puts it high over the bar before, in the 21st minute, a penalty was given to Argentina as Dembele tripped Di Maria in the box. Now, on first look, I thought that was a very soft penalty, but then when I look at it the second time and actually look at it closely, yeah, I think Dembele did clearly trip Di Maria here. You can see his right leg did trip Di Maria there in the box, and you know that as a player, and especially in this kind of pivotal game, if you feel any contact whatsoever, just go down. And I think Angel Di Maria did a good job in terms of that. I mean, it wasn't really a one that you would say that maybe Di Maria could have just keep his balance. I mean, you knew he's gonna go down if any contact that Dembele has, and he did. He went down in the box, draw the penalty, and in the 22nd minute, you know who's gonna step up to score the penalty. It has to be Lionel Messi, and he buries it to make it 1-0 in favor of Argentina. And you can also sense there was a lot of tension in that stadium when that penalty was about to take, and that will be the last time I will be saying that there will be a lot of tension in the 89,000 that was inside watching this one. But in the 36th minute, Argentina doubled their lead. This time it's Angel Di Maria, who of course won the penalty. He would get on the score sheet from McAllister to make it 2-0 in favor of Argentina, and it was a lightning counterattack by Argentina. Like, they just completely ripped this French defense to shred on this lightning counterattack. And yeah, just like that, Argentina was 2-0 up. They were in complete control of this game, and again, you can already hear the the headline saying that, yeah, it seems like Messi and this Argentinian team knows how big this game is, and that this was a time for them to not only amends for what happened in 2014, but finally give Lionel Messi the GOAT status that a lot of people have said that he will definitely earn it if he can finally win this World Cup. But like I said, it's all Argentina in this final, and France, again, they were just getting pinned deep. They barely had the kick of the ball. The possession was heavily in favor of Argentina. Same goes with the shots too. 6-0 in favor of Argentina through 40 minutes of this World Cup final. And in fact, as we head to halftime, France would fail to register a single shot in the first half. And I think that's the first time we've seen that in a very long time, because, yeah, I mean, this was just total dominance by Argentina up to this first half. But it's only one half, and we've seen before where sometimes team have shown their total dominance in one half. That doesn't mean you, of course, win the World Cup. And especially for Argentina, we have seen so far in this tournament that they kind of slip with those lead. It was going to be interesting to see how the second half is going to go. Now, in the second half, we definitely saw more possession that France had, and you can start to see there was some desperation that was shown on this French team. Like, they had to start to go for it and try to get themselves back into this game. But again, I feel like that was kind of the tactics that Argentina was going to do. They want to just sit deep, counter, and see out this 2-0 result. I wrote the wrong score here. At that point, it was 2-0. It would be 2-1 soon, but up to that point, it would be 2-0 resort. And for the most part, they had a lot of success in terms of it, because, despite the fact that France, I thought they kind of did start to grow into the game, they were still not threatening this Argentine backline and wasn't really testing Emiliano Martinez too much. DePaul hits a one-hopper on the volley that goes right to Lloris before Lloris had to deny Alvarez in the near post. Messi then just puts it wide from close range in the 60th minute, and at the hour mark, France still have 0 shots. Like, again, they have got more possession and they have started to kind of come into this game, but just no fluidity whatsoever going for on the attack. And not to mention, notice how I haven't mentioned Mbappe name on this board up to this point, because he was pretty much shut down for the first 60 minutes, and you got to give a lot of credit to this Argentine back line of shutting him down. And again, this has been something we've seen teams have done. They know that Mbappe is the dangerous man for France, so they got to have to double team or even triple team him at times to shut him down. And Argentina did a good job until that, and I will say that as we foreshadow for the remaining of this review, a little do we know that you can only contain Mbappe until he finally broke through. I mean, that's the good thing about good players. There's that cliche that you can't stop a player. You can only hope to contain him, and that you just kind of had a feeling that, eventually Mbappe was going to break through, even if he kind of had a very quiet game up to that point. But in the 63rd minute, McAllister was through on goal there, but Lloris just coming off his lines there and was able to make a slide tackle to cut that out before McAllister had a chance to go around Lloris and tapped it into the empty net. And then in the 67th minute, the first shot for this France team finally came in. It wasn't even a shot that troubled this Argentine team. I mean, it was a Colomani header that goes wide from the corner, and he actually was kind of bumped a little bit, kind of was a little off balance. It heads this one, but it goes way wide there. But in the 71st minute, we did have the first legit chance for France, and it's not a big surprise that it would be Mbappe, the one that has the first legit opportunity that France had, as he just missed this one wide from long range. Again, you can only contain Mbappe long enough before he maybe start to get into this game. And then in the 78th minute, a penalty was given to France as Otamendi brought down Colomani in the box. I think that was the correct call, because you can clearly see Colomani was cut down by Otamendi there in the box. And in the 79th minute, we talk about Messi, of course, stepped up to take the penalty, and there's kind of like some tension in the stadium. It's the same thing here, but Mbappe drilled this one to make it 2-1 in favor of Argentina. And this is where, this is probably where most people was looking forward to of me talking about the remaining of this game, because up to this moment, this is when all hell broke loose in terms of this game. Like, this is when the chaos just just kind of hits maximum level again in this World Cup, because literally, I think John Straw mentioned a minute and 31 seconds later, after Mbappe got one back for France, he ties the game up for France, as he scored here from Thuram to tie the game up at 2 apiece. And again, the World Cup chaos. You know, you thought that maybe it wasn't going to happen in the final, because for the first 80 minutes it looked like Argentina was going to cruise their way to a World Cup victory, and France says no. And most part of the football or soccer gods are probably saying no, because they want to have some more chaos in this one. The French fans were going absolutely ballistic, but the majority of the Argentine fans, and throughout the stadium, you can clearly see there was more Argentina fans. Probably they outnumber the French fans about 70-30, but they were in stunned silence. Like they cannot believe that they have let another 2-0 lead. Again, this is very similar to the one against the Netherlands, although I would say that this was even more stunning, because of the way that, they went from being 2-0 up, looking like they were going to cruise their way to winning the World Cup, to now all of a sudden in less than 2 minutes find themselves tied up at 2 apiece. And the French basically, they took advantage of that, because they started to press to get that winning goal. Koulibaly tried to head it in for the winning goal, but he just could not do so. In fact, Martinez actually had to go full stretch there, because this one, when Mbappe crossed this one, it was kind of bending to that right side. Almost looked like it was a short cross goal from Mbappe there, but it was not meant to be, and that that one, of course, went wide. And I also would say that compared to this World Cup, this was almost very similar to the goal that we saw, where originally in one of the Portugal game, I forgot who they were playing, but I think they were playing Uruguay, where Cristiano Ronaldo basically hits that one, and then they didn't give him the credit because he didn't get anything on it, and it was actually Bruno Fernandes, the one that crossed it. And it feels like we almost had a carbon copy of that goal, of Mbappe scoring, even though I'm pretty sure at first they're going to give Koulibaly the goal in the 84th minute, but it was not meant to be this time. But what is meant to be is the momentum. It was all with France. Like Argentina, they were on the road. They were completely rattled because of the way that they get shipped off 2 goals in just such a quick succession. There was then a huge shout for a penalty for France, but the referee says that Thuram dived in the box, and he gets a yellow card for simulation. That is a very gutsy call by this referee. And refereeing decision throughout this World Cup, it has been controversial at times. There's been some that you could say, I don't think that was the right call, but I feel like throughout this game, most of the calls that the referee has made, he got it right, and he definitely got it right in this case. And again, it takes a lot for a referee to call that, especially in the 87th minute of already just a World Cup final that have gone off the rails. And in the end, he absolutely got that one correct. I mean, Thuram clearly dived there in the box. He even tried to do a trailing leg to maybe draw that penalty, and when you do that, that is a big no. The referee is going to always say that that's going to be a dive, and that, as we have seen more and more time nowadays, you're going to get a yellow card if you try to do so. But in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, Mbappe had a shot that was deflected and goes high before Martinez had to deny Rabiot, but he actually spilled this one, and he just covered it up as Koulibaly was trying to pounce on it. So that was a very lucky key moment for Emmanuel Martinez there. But there was no doubt that Argentina was in full survival mode. Oh, by the way, there was another huge shout for a penalty for France that was ignored, but there was no doubt Argentina is in full survival mode. Like, they are just trying to get this into extra time, because the French were just putting a furious press trying to win this one in regulation. But then in the 7th minute of stoppage time, Messi almost stole one in the end. I mean, if this one went in, there's gonna be a huge storyline about how that is just the most storybook ending for Messi of his World Cup kind of a career, with Argentina scoring a late goal to win the World Cup there. And in some way, I think I'm kind of in some way glad that didn't win in, and that Lloris able to deny him, because I know there also are going to be some people, and especially the conspiracy theorists, are going to say that is the most scripted thing ever. And speaking of script, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that's going to say it, because that's always the case, whether you believe it or not, that people are going to say, well, it's a great game, but I have a feeling that FIFA basically scripted just because we want to make sure that we want to put one last great kind of moment in what has already been an incredible World Cup here in Qatar. So that being said, we do head to extra time for the 4th time in this tournament. This is of course I think the 3rd time in the last 4 World Cups that of course we went to extra time. Last edition in Russia, it didn't go to extra time with France winning 4-2 in the final, but the one in Brazil, that one went to extra time, and the one in South Africa also went to extra time. But both of those time, there was actually a goal that was scored in extra time that wins the it for the, or whoever scored in extra time, that looked like that is the winning goal and wins the World Cup for each of these teams that's participating in this competition. And I'm not sure if both of these teams kind of know that. I mean, I think they kind of knew it because after when McAllister puts it wide from long range, the game really started to kind of slow down. I mean, they or actually I don't know why I wrote slow time there. That kind of didn't make sense. I meant slow down there, as both of these teams again they just fear that they're gonna concede that crucial 3rd goal, because if you concede that crucial 3rd goal, then all of a sudden that you are definitely be up against it. So again, there was definitely some feeling out situation, and in some way this kind of also is a game reminds me similar to the Argentina versus Netherlands game, where we saw a lot of chaos that happened in that game. But as we head to extra time, that's when the first half of extra time started to slow down, because nobody really wanted to give up that 3rd goal. Though France almost did so in the first minute of stoppage time, as Martinez of course went through on goal, but he puts it wide from close range, and that's Lautaro Martinez that went through on goal there. And this is the reason why he hasn't been starting regular minutes ever since he lost his job to Julian Alvarez there, because in those crucial moments like that, time and time again, it has shown that he hasn't been able to deliver. But that being said, we do head to the second half of extra time, with this game remains tied at 2 apiece, and in the 107th minute, Lloris was able to deny Messi off of a weak shot. I think Lloris kind of made a bit of a meal out of this one, because this was not a strong shot from Lionel Messi, and that I think Lloris kind of played it a little bit safe. And again, I'm not sure if this is maybe nerves are started to settle in, because as we go deeper into this extra time, I mean, this is where it started to becoming kind of just almost like pick your poison moment if you're a manager or even a player that is playing in. Do you want to maybe score a push for a late goal, but then you maybe get yourself counter on the other end and then concede the crucial goal to potentially is the decider of the World Cup? Or do you want to take your chances in a PK shootout where that is going to be just an almost a coin toss? That is the situation. Well, again, Argentina, it feels like they didn't want to go to a PK shootout, and in the 108th minute, and again, people are going to say it's scripted if this was the winning goal, as Messi would put this one in to make it 3-2 in favor of Argentina. Now, there was definitely a quick check to see whether or not if the ball did cross the line, because the French player actually cleared this one off the line, but it was pretty clear that on the replay that ball clearly crossed the line there. But then there was also a check to see whether or not if Messi was in an offside position, and it was also a quick check, and it was not offside. I mean, I know they didn't mention this in the broadcast, and I think there's a reason why they didn't mention it in the broadcast, just for PG reason. But the reason why Messi was onside was because Varane basically stick his butt cheek kind of out there, and that his butt cheek was basically the reason why Messi was in an onside position. Like, I know both John Strong and Stu Holden saw that replay, and I know they try their hardest to not say the word, just so that they want to keep this PG, or at least keep it G-rated in terms of this World Cup final. But let's be honest, everybody knew what when they saw that what they're going to say. Like, I even see in social media people talk about, so it looks like the butt of Iran might be the reason why France could potentially lose this World Cup final. And it wasn't, because, as I said, in this World Cup, nothing makes sense. I mean, up to this point, with how crazy that things have, you knew there was going to be one last twist in this game. And there was. In the 116th minute, a penalty was given once again to France, and this time it's Montiel, the one that handball in the box. Absolutely a penalty. I mean, Montiel, you can clearly see as he's jumped, his hand was in an outstretched position, and that when you do that is a stone cold penalty. And and once again, there was a big hush around the crowd because, you know, this is a big vital penalty to once again give France a lifeline back and maybe even set this one to a PK shootout. And Mbappe basically scored that. And he scores the penalty here to tie the game up at 3 apiece. By the way, that also completes his hat trick. He becomes the second player to score a hat trick in a World Cup final. The only player able to do so, I forgot what was his name. It was one of the England player, and I should know it as an England fan. I should know who was that scored the hat trick in the 66 World Cup final, but I kind of don't have it in my mind right now. But nevertheless, Mbappe, of course, becoming the first player to score a hat trick in the World Cup final since 1966. And then in the 120th minute, Koulibaly tried to hit one in, but he puts that one wide. Before Martinez, yeah, he absolutely robbed Koulibaly here. Like Koulibaly, he had a big opportunity for point blank range to just pretty much put a dagger and just another heartbreak for Argentina. But Emmanuel Martinez says no, he's going to make a big save here. That's going to be something that's going to remember for a very long time. And I think that moment is good. I mean, as much as the Messi goal was big for Argentina in this one, that is the moment I think many people will remember. That was the reason why Argentina won this World Cup. Though that being said, they did have a chance to do so as going on the other end, because up to this point, you know, what else is new in terms of in the 123rd minute that we will also get some end-to-end action. And this time it's Lautaro Martinez that had a free header there. But as it is the case for Lautaro Martinez for this tournament, yeah, he's not going to score that. He puts that one wide, which again just sums up his tournament. And just like you know, you talk about a player that has just been snake bitten in this tournament. Lautaro Martinez is that player. He is just snake bitten from ever since the first game against Saudi Arabia, where I think that was kind of the game that and a combination of Julian Alvarez kind of break down in the next game against Mexico is the reason why he kind of eventually got benched and lost his starting position. But nevertheless, we do go to a PK shootout. So this is the first time we have seen a PK shootout in a World Cup final since I think in 2000 or not 2000, 1994, and that was, or no, not 1994. I'm sorry, 2006. Yeah, I forgot about the 2006 World Cup final, and obviously we remember that infamous World Cup final with the Zidane headbutt. And that France, of course, lose in a PK shootout against Italy. The only other one is the '94 World Cup. So this is the third time that a World Cup final has gone to a PK shootout. And in the PK shootout, it's Montiel who is able to redeem himself. And again, I don't think this is going to get too much of the headline, which I kind of feel like it should be, because we always talk about a player that went from zero to hero. Montiel clearly did that because he committed that penalty that looked like could have lost the World Cup for Argentina. But what a way and what a redemption story has to be of him stepping up to take the winning penalty. And you know that has he must have a lot of nerves. Like I don't care if he is a player that maybe is right, but imagine having the whole nation in front of you and trying to just kind of kick it into the back of the net and converts the winning penalty. I mean, that was just that was a stone cold penalty there from Montiel, and again just redeem himself after he made that mistake in extra time that gifted France another lifeline back into this game. And by the way, the two players for France that missed the penalty in this one was Coman, who was denied by Martinez, and Chukwuemeka basically missed that one. Why? I mean, I kind of had a feeling coming into the PK shootout that Argentina was going to be the favorites, because we know that Emmanuel Martinez has been a specialist in PK shootout, and he's shown it again in this one. And France, you know, they have had their share of PK shootout heartbreaks. I mean, I mentioned the 2006 one where they lost in the PK shootout, and it's another one here. Fast forward 16 years later that they suffer another one. But nevertheless, what a World Cup final. No, this is the shots in this one. 20 shots compared to 10 that France had. 10 shots on goal compared to 5 that France had. 7 shots off target compared to 2 that France had. Both teams had 3 shots that was blocked. And possession-wise, 54% possession compared to 46% possession that France has. And again, Lionel Messi, you got to say that he's now labeled as probably the greatest player of all time, label after this one finally now conquer what it's something that's been questioned for him of whether or not if he can finally win the World Cup and basically carry his team over the mountain. And I think in some way you kind of saw at times that he did that in this one. I mean, the 2 goals that he scored was huge in this World Cup. But nevertheless, I think when you look at this World Cup final, again, there's a reason why people are saying that this is the best World Cup final ever. Not only it was high scoring, but it was drama, especially in the last 10 minutes and the entire extra time period. And all the narrative coming into this World Cup final kind of played out itself, where again, we've seen a World Cup final where Messi won the World Cup. We saw how Messi and Mbappe kind of was the big talking point, and Mbappe certainly delivered with a hat-trick, and that has to suck for him, knowing the fact that he scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final and you end up still on the losing end. But also the other thing that deliver is the chaos. Again, chaos just it always finds a way in this World Cup, and that I mentioned sometimes throughout this World Cup that it's almost like at times in this World Cup I'm watching MLS game with how much chaos that is presenting. And speaking of MLS, if you look at this game, this game reminds you of a certain cup final that we saw. Oh yeah, that's right. Didn't we saw an LAFC versus the Philadelphia Union, also went to a PK show by the exact same score. Now, obviously, the way how it played out, it was a little bit different, but I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence when that, of course, has happened in terms of how this World Cup has really shared some of the wackiness that we've seen in MLS throughout this past season. But nevertheless, what a World Cup it is. And speaking of MLS, we got MLS action that is going to be coming soon. And that, even though I know this is going to be the last review until I do one in February when we talk about the CCL match. Yeah, what a World Cup it's been. It's definitely going to go down as one of my favorite World Cup, and that this World Cup final, I'm going to have to agree with a lot of people. I think it is the greatest World Cup final that we have seen in history. I mean, there's been a lot of great World Cup finals out there, but just simply the chaos that we've seen, it's just something that, we don't usually see that happen in a World Cup final. We have seen some World Cup final that has been dull and just not much happened in just one brilliant moment, and there you go. That was not how this, of course, was drawn up. So, but yeah, for the last time, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this game and just in general this World Cup? What does it rank in terms of your top 5 in terms of, I mean, I would say this would be top 5 or even top 3 in terms of my favorite World Cup in my memories. And that, yeah, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and oh, by the way, I know I didn't mention this, and I'm gonna have to mention this because a lot of Argentine fans are going to make me mad in my comment section that I didn't say this word. Congratulations to Argentina of winning the World Cup, and congratulations to Lionel Messi to finally reach the Holy Grail and win that World Cup that's been eluding him for all his career, especially with the Argentine national team. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.